they know that there's a quarterback. There's a lot of quarterbacks coming out next year. Someone that's
They're
supposed to be
they cannot get
franchise.
Arch Manning and
But
then he be like Grandpa Archie in
you
New
wouldn't believe it.
Orleans. That's that's some NBA conspiracy type stuff, man. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast preview of the NFC South in preparation for the 2025-2026 NFL season. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with us today as we go through the entire NFC South is our captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, ready to talk about the underperforming NFC South.
Oh man, gotta love it. Ready to go.
Okay. All right. So Tampa Bay over under 9.5. The Bucks have changed offensive coordinators in each of the past 4 seasons, going from Byron Leftwich. He needs a job, by the way. I think Dion's trying to get him. Dave Canales, Liam Cohen, and now Josh Grizzard. The lack of continuity hadn't bothered Baker Mayfield because he's just happy to have a job. What are you thinking about the Bucks, sir?
I think Bucks. I think they're solid. I mean, I think they're not Super Bowl contender. They're not anything close to that. But I think they have the most consistency enough and the most plan in place to win this division, in my opinion.
All right, so I'm going to pause, and you're going to talk me off a ledge. But the next team is the Atlanta Falcons. Over under is 7.5, and I'm going to say it. Kirk Cousins is right. There will be no slander of Kirk Cousins on the Odd Coaches podcast. He signs a guaranteed contract, and you draft a quarterback, which I actually had no problem with them drafting a quarterback because their logic was we're going to be so good that we're never going to be in a position to draft a quarterback this good. So, although some people found the logic flawed, I didn't find it flawed. But Kirk Cousins did have some pause, as he should have. So the Falcons will go with Michael Penix, and Kirk Cousins will be the highest paid backup. How are you feeling, sir, about the Atlanta Falcons headed to this season? Because I like Kirk.
I think they'll be better than people think. You're coming in with a young quarterback who's going to excite the
He ain't
franchise.
that young.
Yeah, he ain't that late, but he young-ish. He's new. I say he's newer, and he like
Yes.
buying a used car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know it's from 2019, but this is my car. It's a nice car. But so yeah, I think they're getting a nice young player. I think they have the skill set of Bijan Robinson and Drake. I forgot, is it not Drake May? That's the other kid, but Drake London. Yeah, that's the receiver. They have some exciting pieces. I think they'll go out there. They'll excite some people. They'll run up the score. They'll have some highlights. And at the end of the day, if things get dicey, if things get squirrely, you bring in Kirk Cousins and have him chill for a couple. If he gets hurt, like a couple weeks, and Penix is like, oh man, like you said, he's old. So, so
Penix is 25, fans. So for NFL quarterbacks, that's kind of old to be starting your second year with a lot of these guys. I mean, heck, man, Lamar's even 30 yet, and he's got like 6 years experience. All
right.
right, Carolina over under 6.5. I always get caught up with Carolina. Bryce Young was the first overall pick in 2023. He got benched last year. I thought they mishandled him throughout his entire time, and he bounced back. And I'm still waiting for Carolina to pop through. They had a great end of season last year. So, Will, do you think Carolina can turn the corner?
It's going to be a tough situation. It's going to be the first year when Bryce Young came in here. Everybody was like, "Oh, they're terrible. He's too small. He can't do anything." So they were going in and just running over people. Second year, they came in. They had they have some sort of a plan in place, and Bryce Young became a little bit more comfortable. He was in. He was scoring. They were winning. And at the end of the day, that's like you're catching people at surprise. So it's like, oh well, I didn't know that. I didn't know this kid could ball. Now you're going into this third iteration where it's like, okay, you can't sneak up on me again. I know you can ball. I know if you get a chance, just like anybody else in the NFL, if you can get this ball off out to your receivers, you have a chance to win. So it'd be very interesting to see if he can actually win games where he is now being as the focal point of the offense, and we're going to stop him. We're going to make him do things that he doesn't like to do. So we'll see what's going on. I know in the NFC South, the schedule is very favorable for them. So I think there's an opportunity for him to win at least 7 games and kind of get it a little tough with Tampa Bay and keep it close with Atlanta. But I think that's where it's going to kind of land. They're going to end up fall short, I think.
All right, and then finally, the New Orleans Saints, they got dealt a bad blow when Derek Carr, because David's the older brother, said, I'm out of here. So the Saints went 0-7 in games where Carr didn't play. Spencer Rattler, who the kid, by the way, that's Lewis Woodland fans, kid doesn't like him, so I don't like him. And Jake Hayner, he was 0-1 as well. So they drafted a quarterback in the second round, Tyler Show. Will is New Orleans, who's over under 5.5. I don't know where these 6 wins are coming from. What do you think about New Orleans, sir?
They're playing for the draft. They're doing the same thing. They know that there's a quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks coming out next year. Someone that's supposed to be.
They cannot get Arch Manning. And then he be like Grandpa Archie in New Orleans. That's some NBA conspiracy type stuff, man.
I'm with you, man.
You can't waste Arch Manning in New Orleans wearing 8 for the Saints, running for his life. But
that's also where they're the family. I think the family still lives there. I think they have a big influence in there. I think, Archie has always come into the games. I can see it happening. And also
David Stern would make sure that
Oh yeah, he would. But I would definitely. I mean, if you think about it, there's only maybe 2 or 3 teams that are going to be bad. The Saints are going to be bad. When I saw the quarterback room, I was like, this is terrible. This is awful. Oh my goodness. They're bad even in that division. It's bad, and that's a bad division.
They're bad in a bad division. Okay. All right.
They would be last in every division they would be in. They'd be last. So I think they're playing for the Arch Manning lottery.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 2, we're going to answer the big question for each team in the NFC South. We'll be right back on the iCoaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. And then segment 2, big questions for every single team in the NFC South. Can Tampa Bay be led by Baker Mayfield? Can he take them beyond just winning the NFC South? What say you, sir?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, I mean their team is good, but their team is not built to win a title anymore. I think they're still riding off the high of the Tom Brady Super Bowl. They still have some good players. They still have some good coaches there. They have some good infrastructure in there. But I think that door is closed, in my opinion, in Tampa. They have to get a new iteration, even though Baker's going to get you kind of good bridge. But I think they're done with title time.
Baker has grown on me. He reminds me a little bit of Sam Darnold, only because he finally got an opportunity. They finally put some chips into him, and he's delivered a little bit. But again, the NFC South is not very good, so he can take them to an NFC South title, and I'll give them one round of the playoffs because they almost beat the Commanders last year, and then it'll been a little different story. Okay, Atlanta. Did they make the right decision at quarterback? Before I go on my rant, Will, you get first dibs. Did they make the right decision?
Yeah, I think they made the right decision. I mean, if you're trying to compete and Kirk is not making it happen, you have to make that change. You have to excite the fan base. You have to people believe that, hey, even if Kirk Cousins is going through a rough patch, you still want to have the team let the end like, okay, well, we can see that he's struggling. Let's support the fan base rather than his ego and keep him in there. So I think they did make the right decision at quarterback. And at the end of the day, they have an out after this year in their contract. Kirk still makes $100 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
The Falcons. I mean, and again, you don't have to pay Penix, so you can definitely put some real talent around them for the next 2-3 years. And I think that was the right decision they made. I think the one thing they doing that Kirk wants to be let go is that they're like, hey, we did give you $100 million, so you do kind of have to play for us. So let's keep you here. If Penix gets hurt, he has a history of being hurt. I mean, he has a long history in college of being hurt, banged up. Why not have Kirk Cousins in the back who knows the system, hand the ball off, nice safe throws. I'm not mad with the decision. It's just it's an expensive decision, but I'm not mad at the decision.
All right. So one, they have a quality running back. They're supposed to have a quality tight end. Supposed to have quality wideouts. When they drafted Penix, they passed on potential starters who could have assisted in winning this rotten division. They didn't. Fine. Okay. So you didn't do that. Now you've got a situation where you had Kirk Cousins living the Wally Pipp story, which you as a player for Coach Adams heard Wally Pipp story every year when someone was hurt or injured or what direction they wanted to go in. So now you're banking on Michael Penix, and he's got a small sample size. That's where I thought they went wrong. You didn't have to make a move. No one forced you to make a move. Injuries are not supposed to cost you your position. So I would have continued to play the guy I'm paying goo gobs of money to. And if I'm Kirk Cousins, I am showing up to work on time. I'm doing my job and I'm giggling on the sidelines because that kid's going to struggle. And it's not going to be me saying, put me in. It is going to be the local media. And Atlanta's not a good sports town anyway. So I don't care about the fans because have you seen the stands? They obviously don't care about us. So that's just me. All right. Carolina Panthers. Is Bryce Young the answer? You picked Bryce over CJ. CJ has proven early on in his career to be a better player. Is this the last year before you say, I'm back into the draft? What do you think, sir?
I think they'll be back in the draft. They just don't have the infrastructure to support the growth of a quarterback. They can't do it. Some teams just don't have that ability to do it. They would be better off going out and going to the free agency. I mean, that's not. I mean, shoot. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, these teams haven't drafted a quarterback in a couple of years. I mean, outside of Minnesota, obviously they just did, but they haven't drafted in a minute. They rode Tom Brady. They rode Baker. Maybe that's what you need to do as a team and say, okay, well, we need to cut the shortness and get with a guy who can go in, play, you know, somebody else's scrap or another project and try to move forward to that and put money around that player. Because we've seen that they just can't. Even when they've gotten Cam Newton, they never really got the team and around him from an offensive standpoint to lessen all the hits he was taking. They didn't even change the things they did. They had an antiquated coach who was running the ball every day. And they didn't support him. So if you're not Superman, it's going to be very hard to win in Carolina at the quarterback position.
All right. And finally, the New Orleans Saints. We're going to ask it out loud. Should the Saints tank for Arch Manning? And there's no guarantee that Arch is coming out this year. And man, I just can't see them wanting to have Arch waste his first 5 years in New Orleans. All right, Will, should they tank for Arch?
Yes, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on in New Orleans. There's nothing going on over there. There's nothing that they can get. Shoot, that at least would get people excited about New Orleans again.
Are we wearing bags again? Are we the eights again? Come on, you can't do
They
that.
shouldn't be. They should be tank for Arch. They should be, man. Outside of him breaking his leg, hope I don't happen. Knock on wood. He's out. He's coming out. He's doing his thing. The Saints are going to sign him. And they're bad enough to do it. They are bad. They are bad. I mean, they're like I said. We talked about their quarterback room is so
bad quarterback.
He immediately would start in that quarterback room this year today. I think he would start.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 3, postseason predictions for the NFC South. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, we're going to talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. Predicted division champ. I got Tampa Bay for the NFC South. Will, agree or disagree, sir?
Agree. The Buccos will win the division.
All right. My sleeper pick is Carolina because I am a glutton for punishment. Who's your sleeper pick for the NFC South?
Atlanta Falcons. Sleeper pick.
All right. Playoff teams. I only have one for the NFC South, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What say you, sir?
I think it's only going to be one team. It's going to be Tampa Bay, but I think Atlanta's gonna scare them up a little bit. But I still think Tampa Bay takes it to the playoffs.
And to me, there is no championship game participant coming out of the NFC South. Am I being too harsh, sir?
Nope, you're accurate.
Uh,
Nobody's coming off of there.
all right, so that's the NFC South. So on behalf of our captain for life, Will Cotton, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.